Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Ferguson City Council meeting for July the 22nd. Meeting is now called to order. Let us stand for a silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Dave, our assistant city manager, is going to sit in for Octavia tonight. So Dave, could you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Councilwoman Noah.
Here.
Councilwoman Covington.
Here.
Councilman Passoff.
Here.
Mayor Jones.
Here.
Councilman Franklin.
Here.
Councilman Palmer.
Here.
On Zoom. At least I saw him up there. Okay.
And then Councilman Williams.
Here.
A quorum is present. At this time, we go to our public comments. We ask that you will come to the podium when your name is called by Dave. You have 3 minutes. When the alarm goes off at 3 minutes, you will be allowed to finish the sentence that you started. If you start a new paragraph, I will gavel you down. And if you continue to talk, I will have the police to escort you out. We got it? Speak clearly into the mic. Dave, who is our first person?
Mayor Jones, what's on our list is Bobby Stein. I apologize for butchering names out here.
Thank you.
Well, Ferguson has a few homeless. And the homeless are in the news.
First of all, before you get started,
excuse
state
me.
your name.
Bobby Seirwall.
Okay,
408
we know who
Harrison
you are, but we
Street.
still need you to state your name for the record.
Bobby Seirwall. 408 Harrison. Dave and I had a little talk the other day. The rule book, the codes are about to be changed, he said. 8 inches for grass seems to be something that we'll probably keep, I would expect. But next to one of my rentals is this property right across the street. And I knocked that thistle down so it wouldn't spread everywhere. It was 7 feet tall. On the other side, and there's the other side of the property, more of the same. This is around the corner. There's more of the same refrigerator, stuff like that. Okay, so I mentioned the Ferguson has a few homeless, but California's got more homeless than anybody, and there's a couple of legal terms that are in the news. One of them is substantive due process, which is just about the rule book. Are the rules legitimate? Well, I think 8 inches is legitimate. But what's not legitimate is why I have a property that's been mowed twice this year, and I got 2 mowers, they're $1,000 Hondas, and I mow it. And however, somehow they took my fence down, and it did it earlier, the same thing, fence on the other side of the house. And I think that's like the nightmare on him on Wall Street, whatever the name of that street is. Okay, so they took it down to get the machine back, and it was mowed 2 inches plus. I'm mowing the neighbor's yard, which is over 8 inches. They asked me, "Will you mow my lawn?" Okay, so why is this? Well, something's wrong. You know, it's I'm sure it's not the code. So it must be some miscommunication somewhere. And I lost my other pictures But I spent $315 for this landscape design. Some people said you're crazy, can't you figure that out yourself? But this lady was part of the London Botanical Gardens. She worked there and I thought it was a cool idea. So anyway, I'm just saying that on the lower level of workers, I don't think it's the code. Something's wrong in the communication. So that's really all I had to say, except when Mildred, can I finish this sentence? Mildred Klein's gonna come up in that beautiful green dress. She looked at that Andrew Collins corrupt cop that sent Jamil McGee to prison, and they're out talking about forgiveness and reconciliation.
Your time is up, sir.
And anyway, listen to Milton. Thank you.
Thank you. City manager? You fine? You okay? Okay.
Next person on the list is Henry Monfort.
Good evening. My name is Henry Wonderful. Good evening to the council, the mayor, city manager, the attorney, and the citizens. I had the privilege of going to my second trip to the consent decree hearing today. And what I was trying to do by speaking this evening is to urge the city council, the mayor, city manager, and all the administrators to keep the work that it continues to bring positive result. The judge told us today, the U.S. attorney also said the same thing. Miss Pat was very eloquent in describing, giving a historical aspect of what happens when we try to circumvent individual freedom. It's like water. You cannot stop it from flowing. The idea of trying to limit financing so that things can happen, or diverting finances to another area so that you cannot complete an agreement that you made is not right. It's disingenuous. The judge even said, yes, there could be a potential contempt of court, but I want us to walk straight to get this job done right. Give the city praises for what they were doing. And I was very happy to have city employees who are working hard, people who are here trying to make this happen. I'm asking the city council, it's not going to stop. If you at some point think that because you can use budget shortfall to divert fund to something else in order to complete this, you're going to face it in the future, and it's going to be very difficult on the city. It's going to cost us. The citizens of Ferguson, 70% of them are paying for this. They're African American. They say they want it. And we should continue it. It is imperative that we do so. Any leader that wants to divert this is disingenuous, not true, not intending to respect other people's rights. I'm urging you guys to continue it. Pat, you did a very good, I don't know what she was very eloquent. The judge praised her. Even the opposing counsel, which is the DOJ attorney, says she did a good job. Everyone was happy about how she presented the historical aspect of this, because we've been doing this. So, we understand when somebody's trying to take our rights away. And no one wants to have their right taken away, from the kind of commission that she talked about in the 60s, all the way to Ronald Reagan, all the way till today. We want to tell DOJ to go this and do that. That's not right. We were doing wrong, and they came to us. If you don't do right, we will sue you. And we said, okay, fine, let's make a deal. We made a deal. We agreed on that deal. Do not move funds away from it, and do not reduce their salary and expect them to continue to do their same job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard Muto.
Hello, I'm Richard Muto. I live in the 2nd ward. And yes, I dyed my hair, for the few who know me. I am turning 70 and I just wanted to maintain my youthful looks. Okay. I was pleased to see so many people at the consent decree hearing today, especially from the city council. Tonight, I want to encourage everyone who could not be there to listen or to read Ms. Washington's presentation. She spoke of the last almost 60 years of progress, or not, in urban policy and race relations, beginning with the Kerner Commission, identifying where America was in 1967, through our local debate on giving the full commitment to implementing our consent decree. Ms. Washington's words were powerful and gentle, simple yet profound. She did not gloss over difficulties, frustrations, or cost, but she reminded us of the reward of implementation, ending of discriminatory practices, and respecting every person. While so much public debate focused on dollars and cents, she spoke of the heart and soul of our city. The cost of administration is high, but the reward of being the example of a fair city that is the Ferguson of tomorrow easily is worth it. The city we can all be proud of, the city that will grow for years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill Berkeley.
Thank you, Council. Thank you. Thank you. Some of us get to speak and then go on our way. You guys have to stick it out for 2, 3, 4 hours. I agree with the last gentleman about being the Ferguson of today. But who wants to continue to be fined $500,000 a year for the Ferguson that was yesterday? The rogue cops, the rogue police are gone or in the ground. Do we still want to beat the populace that pays $400 a household for money that flies to Never Never Land, funding a law firm, a couple monitors of a past administration's acquaintances? You know, I hear that some of the council is against paying another dime of this filthy lucre. We were supposed to only be paying for 3 years for $450,000 approximately a year. And 10 years later, it's been almost $1 million. This could have gone into our infrastructure, could have gone into our schools. You know, I sat on the floors in Ferguson school board meetings for a couple of years, and the teachers there had at that time PTSD. It was lawless, and our city was lawless for those years that the police were hogtied. Our city has paid dearly. A lot of the citizens have paid dearly. Our shops that were burned and broken, and 24 minority businesses burned to the ground. They were the ones that shouldn't have had to pay, but they paid dearly. The salaries, compare the salaries of the surrounding towns with the salaries that could have gone to our police, our public workers. The parks still have dead trees, hazard trees that are still dead, and hazard trees. I want everyone to stop and think about Officer Travis Brown finally. He got slammed hard, his head on the hard ground. What if there had been a few more officers shoulder to shoulder with him standing around? You know, if there's a thin margin of refusing to pay the fines for the sins of the past, the sinners of the past, we're all still sinners here, but grace abounds. all the more. Unless you're all unified, the media and the mayhem are gonna take it to hell and back. And it's gonna be fuel for the fire. Thank you.
Thank you.
State my name.
You can state your name.
I am so sorry. Phil Berwick.
Mhm.
Next on our list is Chris Diamond.
Good evening. My name is Chris Diamond. I live at 201 South Clay Avenue. For the last 25 years that we've lived here, we've been trying to obtain a piece of property from the city that is between our house and our next door neighbor. 4 years ago, we actually were so close. Got a letter from the city, working with Elliot Levzen, who's no longer with the city. He was trying to help us out to obtain it. We actually came to the final council meeting and basically got derailed at that point, and we were still stuck trying to get the property. We've maintained it for the last 25 years.
I will. Thank you.
Excuse me?
Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. Sorry. We've maintained it for the last 25 years. We mow it, we take care of it, everything we can. We've had a lot of thefts and everything, people walking up and down it because it's still a street as far as the city is concerned. We can't stop anybody from walking up and down the sidewalk or the street. They can go through our backyard, anything they want to do. Every vehicle we've owned has been either broken into at least twice. We've had a vehicle stolen within the last year. And just stuff off the back porch. And like I said, we can't control anything back there. So we've been trying from the city to purchase it. And like I said, at the time, we actually had, kind of an agreement. We signed it back. And unfortunately, that's the last we kind of went through a couple of years ago. So just trying to start the process again with somebody here at the city to hopefully continue this long, long process that we started back in 2001.
Okay. Would you give the city manager the information so he could make copies?
Please.
And that you have the address to the property in question?
Yes, it is between 201 and 153 South Clay.
South Clay.
Yeah, it was originally Adams Street, where it actually crosses the railroad tracks.
Oh,
So,
okay, thank you.
so like I said, just trying to hopefully continue this process.
Yeah, we'll work on it.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, I know it's not a quick process, but like I said, 25 years, hopefully we can get it done sooner than later. Definitely appreciate it.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Next on our list is Erica Brooks.
Good evening.
Good evening, Ms.
Um,
Brooks.
I just want to thank City of Ferguson, the members who represented us at the hearing this morning. Pat Washington, Ms. Tidwell, and our city attorney, Apollo. To me, what they said to represent everything that we're going through legally, it was just a trinity of legal justice. To verify through paperwork and the process of what has been done to procrastinate and cause the city to have to pay thousands and millions of dollars. It's not because people sat around and, hey, we want to just spend a whole lot of money. They clearly laid out in every aspect why the city has had to pay all this money. And it's just ridiculous, yes, that it had to go on this long, because one thing I look at is that why are we going through a consent decree? Because it's obvious that there are people in this community that feel that because you're proud of Ferguson, that you want to keep the status quo of systematic racism, but not allow people to stand up and say, I count, I matter. Black lives matter. It doesn't make sense to fight against or complain against the situation when you clearly understand that racism is alive and well in Ferguson. Nobody's gone away. We've gone through 400 plus years of racism, slavery, and everything else. It's not going nowhere, no matter whose face is on this earth right about now. It's prevalent everywhere from the White House all the way down to Ferguson, Missouri. Something else that I want to say too, I know that, Mayor, you're gonna be running for county council. And the thing about it is, we need you here in Ferguson. We need you here because, like I say, this process right here, you were in office due to the blood, sweat, and tears of the people that were out there dying, you know, going through the whole process of, you know, fighting for racial justice. And Ms. Retta Day's out there, she's representing our community well, and we don't need two Black women fighting against each other for power and positions. We need you here, and we need that voice out there with Retta Days. I know, you know, you have aspirations to move on or whatever, but we don't need to have the same thing that we had for our US Senate. With Congressman, where you had Cori Bush and you had Wesley Bell. Yes, that's great, he got his position, but we as Black people need voices in other places because the redistricting of the state of Missouri is the problem. The redistricting of the city of St. Louis is a problem. And we don't need one more situation that's gonna cause us to have lack of representation in the city of Ferguson as well as the county. Please reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks.
Next on the list, we have Leverne Mitchum.
Leverne Mitchum, 508 Hunters Ridge Drive. We have all heard the quote, "If you don't know your history, you are likely to repeat it." Today in the status hearing, our consent decree coordinator, Ms. Patricia Washington, did an amazing report in which she connected the dots. She went from the Kerner Commission, which was released February 29, 1968, to George Floyd, 2020. Ms. Washington was very clear on how misallocating funds after the Kerner Commission led to problems that were unsolved and led to even more society problems and community problems because there was misallocation of funds back then with the Kerner Commission. The judge, the monitor, the DOJ, they all had very positive and good things to say about her report. Ms. Washington pointed out in Ferguson, the argument to divert consent decree funding toward roads and city infrastructure may sound good on paper, but it ignores the unique moral and legal obligation to complete a once-in-a-generation reform effort. I'm repeating some of what she said because I think it's important. Ms. Washington did her job today at the status hearing. She made it clear that diverting the consent decree funding erodes the foundational justice we are constructing. The question becomes, council, if you all go back with this or you do it, is that in the best interest of the people and the city? I do not think it is. And I've said to you all many times, if you all can't work for the best interests of the people and the city, you're not really doing your job. I know people voted and put you there, but they really want you to work for the best interests of this city and the best interests of us. So diverting the funds, we do not need to do. Ms. Washington made that clear and she presented why very clearly. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchum.
Next on our list is Easter Robinson. Do you want to come back, George? She's not present right now.
Once I close public comments, it will be closed.
Oh, actually, not right there.
I'm sorry. How you doing? Hi.
I am Easter Love. I own NAW Sister Tree. I appreciate you all granted me my liquor license to be able to be a part of your community. But at the same time, I have felt like I have been harassed by a certain person in your, on your council. Instead of a person helping you, because this was my dream. And I'm a mother and I have children to take care of. So with that being said, instead of, when you come to a community, it's like supposed to be like welcoming the family. I'm bringing money to the community. Instead, you come and you take pictures of my car. I have it on video. I stood in my business and watched him on his bike take pictures of my car sitting there, and then have the police to come over and tell me to move, or they gonna ticket me. I said, I'll move. Only thing, I just parked there that day to bring my stuff in. I have fibromyalgia where my body hurts all the time, so I can't park and bring my things in. So I parked there, and then once I got in, I noticed that I had my ice machine, water had got on the ground. You know, the water came down on the ground, so I started mopping it up. And in the midst of that, that's when the person came and took videos, and on the camera on my thing, he said, okie dokie, or something. It's basically like, I caught you. The very next day after you all said that you grant me for my liquor license, that's when he came and did that. Then a week later, he came back again. I got him on the camera, but he couldn't the car wasn't there, so he couldn't say anything. I don't mind moving over there. I won't park in front of the door, but I do unload there just to get my groceries out. That's it. So after you all asked not to park there, I did not. But the fact that you couldn't come in and talk to me, that you thought that it was a need to call the police on me, and then constantly I see in this group, this Ferguson is disgusting the way one person would tear down the community, every Black-owned business up and down that street. We as Black people never was able to get anything, and now that we're able to get something, people want to take it away. We work hard for that. So some that might be little, then they may have this and that. We work hard for it. It was our dream, and we prayed for it. And so it don't bother me. I don't hate anyone. I just ask to be welcome into the community and be treated just like anyone else. That's all I have
You
to
still
say.
have the floor.
Ma'am,
I said, you still have the floor.
that's all I have to say. I just want to be welcome. I don't want to be harassed. I don't want to feel like that I'm doing something wrong because I came to Ferguson. Ferguson has a lot of shooting and this and that. Don't you want us to show, okay, we all can work. You want to have things as united, that we can work together instead of the crime. You want to be known for things like that in this community.
Thank you, ma'am.
This is Wanita Thompson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Wanita Thompson. I am the owner of Yummy Nutrition on South Florissant Road, and I also own Blend Boutique right next door to it. I'm coming because I was attacked. I consider myself being attacked by Nick Kassoff. I'm not afraid to say his name. I feel like I was violated on my First Amendment right because of what I put on my personal page, which had nothing to do with my business at all. No, I have a First Amendment right to say what I feel, support who I want to support, just like he do. This was my personal page, not my business. He did try to cover it up by not posting my name, but quickly, everybody knew who I was because I'm sure he told them privately. I want to say that I am a resident of Ferguson as well in Ward 3. I like Ferguson. Honestly, he is bringing down Ferguson. Everything he do, I never see anything good from what he posts in that I Care About Ferguson group. All he do is bring down businesses. He don't come and support. I have never seen him support anybody in the downtown area, really. From what I heard.
1 minute, Mr. Kassoff, Councilman Kassoff, she has the floor.
What do you have to say?
You can finish, ma'am.
Okay. he posted me in the group. They attacked my business, wanting me to be shut down for something that I can speak about publicly. Fireworks are not illegal everywhere. They are illegal in Ferguson and St. Louis County. I never put a place on it. And I'm supporting another business, which you should try. You need to quit targeting people. Black business owners. I have personally brought a couple people to Ferguson, cheered them on, come to Ferguson. It's a great place. But after being involved with him, no, I don't think so. I plan to buy a house in Ferguson, but who wants to be targeted? I'm tired of being targeted. I've done nothing to this man. He's never even said a word to me, never even came to my house. Came to my establishment. But why are you on my personal page? It has nothing to do with you. This is a very bad look for Ferguson. Honestly, the media just posted it today and I had no knowledge that they were going to post it, but people are sick of him. I've been getting calls. Everybody is tired of him and the way that he is dragging Ferguson backwards. The chief and everybody in Ferguson has been moving it forward. He is taking it 20 steps back and we tired of you. Yeah. I know I am. And I ain't did nothing to you. So please stop targeting me. My business sales have declined since he has done this. Yesterday, I didn't even make $50.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Simone Gordon. I am on the board of directors for the Scholar Academy of Ferguson. Today, I got the news that we were not allowed to open up our childcare facility in Ferguson due to the Boys and Girls Club being within 25 square feet under the ordinance of C1. I've had meetings with the Boys and Girls Club. Our childcare facility is going to target age group 6 weeks to 5 years old. With that being said, when I met with the Boys and Girls Club, they explained to me that they are a teen center. They are not a childcare center. So what I'm asking today is for a provision for us to be able to pass zoning and planning for us to be able to open up. They would not pass us when I talked to Ms. Peoples today because she said Boys and Girls Club was within 2,500 square feet. I do have letters from the Boys and Girls Club of them giving us permission to open, as well as a partnership that we have going on with a grant to be able to move forward with our building. The only thing that's holding us up is planning and zoning. It's not approving us due to us being so close to the Boys and Girls Club, but we're servicing 2 different age groups. So I'm here to ask the council if it's possible, if we could get a provision on C1 ordinance under the child care facilities.
If you have any information with you, would you please give it to the city manager?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He'll make a copy of it.
Okay.
Okay, Dave?
Next on the list is Mildred Klein.
As you can see, our city manager multitask.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
So tonight, I'm here before you guys because tonight.
What's your name?
Mildred Klein.
Okay.
7444 Castro, Ward 3. Tonight, I am here all about our consent decree coordinator, Miss Patricia Washington. Yes. The city of
Ms. Klein.
Ferguson residents.
Okay, speak to the council.
You would be proud if you had attended this status hearing this morning, and I would advise you to go out on YouTube. You can still hear it. The judge, the attorney, the Department of Justice, everybody talked about the work that not only just Miss Patricia, but Miss Patricia in particular has done to bring the city to where we are today. I'm a 38-year resident, I'll keep saying that, and I've seen some things over the years. Yes, we have come a long way, Ferguson, but we have some ways to go. We have some ways to go. And the judge actually said litigation is expensive. So if you council think about not funding this consent decree, you know, like she said, a lot of people lose and it's gonna cost you that much more. She said that we have made very solid progress. And the people that were there that represented Ferguson, everybody, mostly the whole room clapped when she gave her presentation. She let us know from where we started from the consent decree to where we are, all the training, in the court systems. If people have said, we don't even know where we are, we don't know how much has been done, go and listen to that report by our consent decree coordinator. Now, she's doing 2 jobs. I don't even know if you all know that. She is our police information officer as well as our consent decree coordinator. You know, and it sounds like this city council right up here that we're looking at is talking about cutting her salary. She's doing the work of 2 people. And they're wanting to cut what she's making. That's crazy. Why would you? We're doing so well. She's doing the best. She's the best consent decree coordinator we've had since day one. You should be giving her a raise, not cutting her salary. So I'm just right now, Miss Patricia Washington, I'm talking to the council, but Miss Patricia Washington behind my back, thank you so much for all the work that you're doing, all the work that you've done. The Ferguson residents appreciate it. Racism is expensive. And these ladies up here, these businesses that's talking right now, you know, I gotta argue who they talking about.
Thank you.
And it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
Thank you, Ms.
Council doing that to our businesses. I'm sorry, you all. I'm sorry. I can keep on. Keep on.
Next on our list, Annette Jenkins.
My name is Annette Jenkins. I haven't spoken in a while. I've been out here for 33 years, and the reason I moved out of Ferguson because of what's going on right now. Good evening, Miss Mayor. Let's see.
Good evening.
Hello. Good evening, Council. Today at the status hearing, I was there. Miss Patricia Washington, the consent decree coordinator, did an outstanding report. Kudos to the girl. She made it clear to the consent decree funds would be undermined and the work that has been done, and it was 6 chiefs, not 5. I did that back in some time ago. As I was sitting there listening to the judge and your attorney that's not here today, what's his name, Paul? No one spoke more, evaluating more clearly than Ms. Washington did. All the reports I kind of went to sleep on, but to hear what she said, how far Ferguson has come, and to hear, because I've been coming to the meetings for a while, hear you all talking about cutting stuff. How you gonna cut something that you need? Explain that to me. Ms. Washington explained about from 68 to now, it's no different. It's just a different cast, same script. My understanding is that these people put you all in here. Do the job for the people, not for yourselves. It's not about you, it's about people that are sitting out there. I'm no longer a resident, but I'm still involved out here. I did 33 years out here. 20 of them where I worked on different boards. Never got paid a dime. But every time something happened, you are bringing people from all over the world, paying them $10,000, $75,000 for 6 months. We couldn't even get a piece of bread to eat. Think about the people that put in the time, like myself, Fran Griffin, Mildred Klein. Y'all don't think about, it's funny to you? I'm gonna sit down because I'll be in jail.
Thank you, Ms. Jenkins.
It's not about that.
Next on our list is Fran Griffin.
Ms. Griffin?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So I did attend the status hearing today, and I just thought it was amazing that out the gate, before Apollo got to give his speech, before the DOJ and the monitor got a chance to even speak, the judge had looked at the letters that were submitted by the community, as well as just being informed about what's been going on here at City Council, the comments that have been made and all of that. And she pretty much made it very clear, one, that if you go against the consent decree, you will be in contempt. For one, she also explained about how the city of Ferguson went into an agreement because they understood that going against it at the very beginning would cost them more money out the gate. Like, I don't know if you all understand, but this woman, I told you all, I was honest when I said she was committed to seeing this consent decree process through. She's committed. She's not retiring until the consent decree process is done here, because that's how important it was at the time. I definitely want to thank Ms. Pat for her words, because they were powerful. And if you didn't get a chance to listen to it, really need to hear it, because the way that she explained it, it was like doubling down on what I told you during the campaign forum. It was an explanation for a longer explanation for why I said what I said. And so I appreciate her for doing it, because sometimes, you know, when people from the community come up and talk, y'all look at us like we got an extra head growing out the side of our neck. And the reality of it is, people like us have been here for years and years and years and years. And we worked on this process for years and years and battled opposition for years and years. And one thing that the judge did say at the very end, and she said, for the people that do not agree with the fact that we have to fund this monitor's team and all of that, she wanted you all to have patience. And I just wanted to say that the reason why she wanted you, the reason why you can afford to want to move it forward is because you haven't spent that much time doing all of this stuff. You're just looking at the simple dollars of it. Let me explain something to you. Had you come in before this consent decree had been worked on by the people in the community, you're right, you probably wouldn't have wanted to move here, because your baby probably would have been just like mine, face down in a gravel road of a church lot with a gun to the back of his head. They didn't know that my son was in honor school. They didn't know that my son had never been in trouble. That's why I got involved. This is not, it is very much so personal, because we raise our babies here. I done went from having my oldest son start in kindergarten, to now him being in freaking, what do you call that? What's the word? Medical school, dental school.
Thank you, Ms.
But they didn't know
Griffin.
nothing about that. They didn't know nothing about that when they saw my baby's face. So we fight for you all's babies to live. And we need you to understand our truth.
Thank you.
You gotta get close to the ash.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin.
Next on our list is Cassandra Butler.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. State your name.
Cassandra Butler, 12 Caldwell Court, Ward 2. Okay, so the base question is, why do you think the way to speed up compliance of the consent decree is by, 1, cutting funding needed to do the job, and 2, insulting the primary person the city needs to get this to the finish line, to get in compliance? Approaching this goal the way you did is actually a contradiction to the stated goal. The only explanations that make sense to me is either, 1, you totally do not understand how to manage goals to successfully accomplish the completion of the consent decree, or You are very insincere in your stated desire to accomplish the goal in more than an illusionary surface manner. Why do I say this? If your goal is to speed up the activity needed to complete the consent decree sooner, then one needs to allocate more money, not less. More people likely doing the work simultaneously takes more resources, not less. Thinking one can complete the work by merely spending the same monthly amount in half the time is ludicrous. And to think that the way this is budgeted assumes a linear expense. You spend the same amount every month. And that indicates a basic lack of understanding the work. That is why I suspect the second option that you are insincere in your desire to actually accomplish the completion of the CD is a satisfactory. You don't want to do it in a satisfactory manner. Now I want to talk about removing the consent decree coordinator, added compensation for performing 2 full-time jobs. Are you kidding me? How ungrateful. Do you understand how crucial she has been to the process that the progress that the city has made? All the other parties recognize this, from the judge, the DOJ lawyer, and the monitor. They all basically remarked that the last 18 months is the period in which most progress has been made. And this is the person you want to disrespect by showing how much you do not value the extra work she does on the city's behalf. Really? Actually, I wonder if you realize you will not be able to complete the CD to a satisfactory level without her leadership in a reasonable time. Seems like the council was very short-sighted, shooting themselves in the foot. I recommend that you apologize to Pat Washington for even thinking that she is not worth every penny she gets, plus much more.
Thank you, Ms. Cassandra.
The recommendation is for this council not to FAFO.
Last on our list this evening is Tiffany Ellis.
Good evening, Mayor, good evening, Council. Tiffany Ellis, 1312 Lane Drive. I just want to read a statement by the NPSC, which is the Ferguson Neighborhood Police Steering Committee. And on behalf of the NPSC, they've provided a petition to support full funding of the Ferguson consent decree by citizens of Ferguson, with 70+ signatures and more to be collected in the future. They want to express their commitment to having Ferguson complete the consent decree, and they want to thank those involved for their efforts and work in creating the environment where Ferguson City is expected to present itself better to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tiffany. You have anyone else?
No, ma'am. There is no one in the chat this evening, so that was everybody for public comment.
Okay, public comments are closed. There were several comments that were made about property and people feeling like they're being targeted because they Black-owned businesses. So I'm going to refer all that over to our city manager and to see how the validity of what they're saying. Public comments are closed. We move to our manager's report. City manager.
Yes. Mayor and council, it's a pleasure being here tonight. I'm gonna bring Captain Dilworth up and he'll do the police report first.
That comes up all the time. Don't click it.
Good evening. I'm Captain Dilworth of Ferguson Police Department. I'll be conducting the police department's portion of this briefing. I'll be standing in for Chief Doyle this evening. Starting off with our slide 2. Next. This is our updates as far as the areas I will be covering. Next. Good news, we're at 91%. We're continuing to grow as a police department. And we're continuing to get new candidates in every day. Next. This is our part 1 crimes. As you can see, I'm gonna address the homicide rate that has gone up. Next. This is our part 2 crimes. Next. All right, unfortunately, Ferguson has had an upswing on homicides. We had 3 within the last reporting period. One of the suspects that were in custody, he's in custody for our first homicide I want to report on. Unfortunately, the victim in that case was 3 months pregnant, so we'll probably be doubling down on some of these charges. Next. Our second homicide, I'm gonna be reporting on. These 2 individuals were taken into custody 48 hours after the crime was committed. Each one of them's got $1 million bond. They're still down in St. Louis County custody. And as far as our third homicide, we have that person of interest, person also in custody. We just don't have them on the slide. So we have been making great strides on solving these crimes. Detective Bureau has put in dozens and dozens of hours and executed multiple search warrants throughout the last 30 days. Next. This is our traffic report, our citations. That's total. We're at 311, with most of those dealing with, most of those were during this reporting period were warnings given for people exceeding posted speed limit, various traffic violations. Next. As you see our year-to-date total, with more officers on the street, we had more chance to increase our traffic productivity. Our main thing was to be visible, be visible out there on the streets, slow people down, educate our public. And you can see our numbers have definitely went up from last year to this year. Most of those were warnings, but citations were also given out. Next. Our failure yields continue to seem like they're trending down. People are starting to stop and slow down for law enforcement, but we still have a quite number of people who wants to evade arrest, and we have our detectives out seeking those individuals. Next. We'd like to welcome Officer Harris. Officer Harris, he's our new employee. He was hired here 2 weeks ago. He graduated from St. Louis County Police Academy. He's a young, vibrant officer who's willing to put his best foot forward to serve in the community. Next. And Drake's come out to play. They hosted the police department and the fire department a lunch one evening, and they came out, supported the law enforcement family, and even people in the community came out, gave us a bite to eat. Next. As you can see here, we Ferguson Police Department attended the Forest Wood Neighborhood Association meeting. Officers attended, provided good neighborhood watch information, crime stats, crime prevention detail, and was also our Councilwoman Ms. Noah was also in attendance. Next. The chief is moving forward with he's got multiple initiatives that he's embarking upon. One is the Chief's Community Engagement Council meeting, which he attended. As a matter of fact, we hosted it here at the police department. It was well attended. A lot of good information was funneled through that on how we can better serve our community. Next. Officers with the police chief's initiative, we had our first neighborhood roll call. This neighborhood roll call was given at Wesley and Lawrence. It was given, I believe, a Saturday morning. What we did, we took the officers out of the roll call room and brought them out into the neighborhood. We had several residents coming by, waving, wanting to know why all these police officers were in the neighborhood. Well, I explained that we're out here, we're getting to know this community, and we're going to start hosting different roll calls every month in different neighborhoods. Next one should maybe be in the Sharondale Apartments. Getting a hold of the manager so that she can be present when we do have these. And we're inviting the public out also. Come listen what our roll calls are like. Next. And good news, we got $11,000 grant for funding from MoDOT for traffic enforcement. So more officers we have, the more officers we can get involved in these initiatives and these grant programs, so we can get officers out here in the street, in the community, enforcing our laws and having people slow down on the roadways during this time period. Next. And July the 26th will be our open house. Come on out. We're gonna have fun, a lot of fun, bounce houses, a lot of good activities for the community to get involved in, take a tour of the police department, engage in some of the festivities we're gonna have this evening, on the 26th. Hopefully the weather be permitting and it won't be so hot. Next. And an update on Travis Brown. Travis Brown, I believe he's been moved to a rehab facility in Oklahoma. He's still progressing forward. We had the pleasure of having his mother and his two daughters came to Ferguson Police Department Friday. We welcomed him with open arms. It was a very, very good, heartwarming event to see how his daughters were doing and to see his mom's smiling face. Another keynote on that, we had a softball game Saturday, which we beat Berkeley Police Department. Yeah. The final score was 9-8, and no, we didn't. We had TJ's mom was there. TJ's mom threw out the first pitch of the game, and we signed a softball for a commemorative softball, and we brought home the trophy for Ferguson Police Department, and it was well attended. I thank everyone in the public who came out and to attend it, that attended this event. It brought a lot of camaraderie with the police department, the fire department, but Berkeley citizens came out. It was heartwarming to see a community there enjoying a festive softball game. And we won. So thank you very much, City Manager, for helping us get that on and get that taken care of. I really appreciate it. And the catch was $1 million catch made by a new officer, Officer Thomas. She's not here, but we brought her in. Did not know she was a gifted softball player, and she made the winning game catch, and she won MVP. So a lot of good things came out of that game, and she's a new employee also. So she just got hired 4 weeks ago. So, and next. So, any questions, any comments? Just
who's first? Well, we start on that in
yeah, I don't care.
Councilwoman Noy.
Just right quick, thank you for the presentation. Sharondale Circle, are you meaning Park Ridge Apartments?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay, I
ma'am.
just want to make sure I understood.
Yeah. It's not etched in stone. We gotta get with the management, get with our patrol staff, but we'll announce it. We'll put it out when we're gonna have our next neighborhood roll call.
Okay,
Yes.
and secondly, with the MoDOT grant,
Yes.
will you all be able to purchase more of the flashing stop signs?
Those stop signs, we were able to get those, I believe, on a grant. I don't know if we can be able to purchase equipment, but I can definitely look in that for you.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, next.
Councilwoman Covington. Councilman Cassoff.
Yes, sir. Somebody asked me the other day and I've lost track. How many homicides have we had in 2025?
Too many.
Well, I
If it's
know.
one, is too many. I mean, these.
I agree.
Yeah, they're needless homicides, but I don't have a specific amount, but I think we may be in the neighborhood of 8 for 2025.
8.
I believe so. Don't quote me, but I can give you a correct number tomorrow morning.
Thank you,
Just give me
sir.
a call, I'll give you the numbers.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, yes.
Councilman Franklin.
Yes, sir. I was curious, the $10,000 MoDOT grant, do you already know how you'll allocate those funds, what they'll go toward?
It's 11,000.
11,000, I'm sorry.
Even to the extent of those speed radar signs that you see. I know a little bit more about that.
Councilman Williams.
Yes, sir.
Very informative. But I have a comment. So the gentleman mug shots that you had up there, I don't think you need to do the pictures because they need their due process. And those young men have, even though the crimes are heinous, they have families too. So, you can just put the names. I don't think the pictures are necessary. But it's gonna be a lot more murders if we don't give these young people opportunities. So what we got now is just a drop in the bucket. I keep preaching. You gotta give these young people opportunities or it's gonna get worse. And so the young ladies daycare, I'm all for that because that's training young minds. Gotta stop the generational poverty to end the crime and the homicides. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a nice night. Thank you. Yeah.
Chief?
Yes, Mayor and Council. The other thing I wanted to talk about was nuisance abatement. I wanted to give a little bit of an update. Tomorrow, we're gonna have our first hearing on our kind of a newer process that we've done. So right now, it takes almost 20 to 30 days in order for us to abate a piece of property. By the time we get to it, what was 8 to 10 inches is now maybe 24 inches, maybe even taller. That's taking a lot of wear and tear on our equipment. So looking at ordinances and looking at way other cities have done it, we're starting a new process where when the inspectors go out, they are going to immediately when they get back, send that out in the mail. That will go to the property management if it's a rental as well. It'll go to the homeowner and property management. They will then have a hearing date. And within that hearing date, if they do not show up at the hearing, or even if they do show up at the hearing, we will then, if they cannot rectify that, an administrative warrant will be then issued. Or I will go for an administrative warrant at that time. That will then give us another 5 days, and if it has not been rectified or taken care of after that administrative warrant's written, we will be able to then go on the property and cut the grass. So we're looking at a 10 to 11 day process now instead of a 20 to 30 day process. Obviously, we got to take an account for rain and things like that, the early spring. We can work with people. I mean, we're not here to bust chops. We're here to work with people, make people want to live in their community and not have horrible overgrown grass. The other thing is with abatement, and there's a difference between abating somebody's property and then making them try to fix things up against code violations. And that's where we have to make that line, right? And what we're going to do is then do citations on property that needs to be fixed, such as 45 North Maple. We all know that's an issue, that house. We've tried to work with them, but I brought it to a dangerous hearing. I don't want to tear down a huge house that does not need to be torn down. We just need to make them fix the property. And this is the only way that we, with our code, have any teeth to get anybody to fix some of these problems. We're willing to work with anybody, but at a point we have to take it into the court system. And that's what we're going to do. So if anyone has any
questions? Councilwoman Noah.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief, for that update. What time is the hearing tomorrow?
10 o'clock.
And it's in person here at City Hall?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We don't know exactly how many are on it. I will be presiding over the hearing.
So, okay, it's the dangerous building.
It's an
hearing.
administrative hearing. Yes.
Administrative hearing.
No, it's not dangerous.
It's not dangerous. It's administrative
abatement.
hearing. Abatement.
Nuisance.
Okay. Thank you for that, because as you know, I mean, residents are always asking about nuisance and abatement. You know that. Secondly, this also is for businesses as well, not just for the residential properties,
Right.
because there are a lot of businesses that are also neglectful of the exterior of their properties, and residents are really concerned as to why we are allowing this. So with this new procedure, I can definitely update them. Okay, thank you.
Councilman Franklin.
Will this 10-day window be the same for occupied versus vacant properties?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I would just recommend for your vacant properties, if you can shorten that window to where your staff can get on property that's vacant and get it rectified sooner.
Actually, I'd probably be able to get on it before that 10 day period. We just want to make sure that we're covering ourselves within that 10 day. If we know it's a vacant property, obviously we're going to know that up front and with no correspondence back and forth. And we know our problem areas. once we do get the administrative warrant, we do not have to go back and get a second one. The notice was sent, the administrator, they had their hearing, and we can actually go and cut it more than once, right? So, but with it being a vacant property, we will be able to jump on it as soon as the administrative warrant comes out.
And I assume you guys are working with the courts
Yes,
for the
sir.
ordinance?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir. We worked through the whole process with courts and through legal to make sure our code ordinance was not violated.
Councilman Cassoff.
Do the same public notice requirements apply for administrative hearings as they do for our other ones?
Negative.
Okay, because it's not in the agenda center.
It,
We've got a section for it and there's a 2023 one in there, but there's nothing
yeah,
in.
this does not have to be put out for 15 days for a hearing, like.
Well, it's 24 hours for a council meeting, but we don't
No,
have.
we don't do that.
There's no public notice
No.
requirement.
No.
Okay, great, thanks. Just wanted to be sure.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Okay, city manager?
And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. We close our city manager report and we move to the special presentation.
Yes, Mayor, at this time, I'd like to call Dr. Howard Fields up with superintendent from Ferguson Florissant School District. He's gonna do a little presentation on Ferguson.
Thank you, Council, Mayor Jones, community. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I am on day 15 of a dream job, and you'll hear me talk about dream job here in a moment as the new superintendent of the Ferguson Florissant School District. And so I vehemently believe that one of the most generous things you can do is give someone your time and attention. And so for you providing me with that, I truly appreciate it. As stated, my name is Dr. Howard E. Fields III. I am the new superintendent for the Ferguson Florissant School District.
No promises. of course.
Okay, understood. Next slide.
Got you.
As we look at all of our students within the community, I understand Ferguson, you all serve 4 different school districts. That being the Riverview Gordon School District, that being Jennings, that being Hazelwood, and that being the Ferguson Florissant School District. And so as we get into this information, I'll let you know why it's quite fitting for this to be my first city council presentation specifically for Ferguson. I think that's very intentional. You'll learn why here in a moment. But before I get an opportunity to do so, I'm going to go to the next slide. And just like you all, we do have a Board of Education, our volunteers that do a spectacular job as we are creating the best conditions we can for our students. And so tonight I do have Madam President, Dr. Donna Paulette Thurman, if you don't mind waving. And the person that is tasked with making me look good in terms of making sure everything is together, following up, that is our Chief of Staff, Charlie Moore. And so as we go to the next slide and in the remaining minutes that I have with you, I'm going to give you an update, but I'm also going to provide a little bit more context with a comment that I stated, and that is that this is a dream job for me. What should look familiar is the apartments that you'll see in the picture, and that is myself, and that is in North Winds Apartments. I attended Koch Elementary School as a student from kindergarten to 4th grade, and I had the absolute pleasure of going back to serve as a principal from 2014 to 2017. Now, we have to remain humble as we should, but there are some bragging pieces from the standpoint of in 2014-15 school year, our APR, our annual performance report for the state of Missouri through DESE was among the highest in St. Louis and the highest in St. Louis County. And so as it relates to not only being in a space where you grew up, but pouring back into the same community that's given you so much is one of my best accomplishments whatsoever. So I don't just stand in front of you as the new superintendent. I stand in front of you as someone who has been a resident in Ferguson, who has served in the community, and I know what the power of what community can entail. And so with that, in addition to attending Koch Elementary School and going back to be a leader there, my first college that I attended was St. Louis Community College. And so at Florissant Valley. And I would love to tell you, oh my goodness, I used to work with some of our my cousins and I knew I was going to be an educator. That would be a lie. That would be a fabrication. In fact, I went up to St. Louis Community College on the last day of late registration, and God had other plans for me. So among a number of themes tonight, be patient with our youth, because as they are figuring it out, one of the freedom writers said, we have to believe in our students and our community until they believe in themselves, because once they do, the sky is the limit. And I want to be a testament to that. This is year 18 in education. I've been in Riverview Gardens for 9 years, Webster Groves for 3 as a principal, and 5 years in the Kirkwood School District as Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources. And now I am back for the dream job of being superintendent in my community, the Ferguson Florissant School District. Now, although I would love, if we go to the next slide, to talk about all the great things we're doing, and there are many, I do want to also be incredibly transparent in some of our challenges, because my success in every place that I've been, it does require community. And so as you look at the mission and vision in front of you, our mission and vision is just that. And our staff and our school community is doing all that we can, but we have to take it another step further. And that is the reason why I'm in front of you today, so you can be aware of some of the things going on in one of the 4 school districts that you have a pleasure of supporting, but also understand that we need support. I will take this as an opportunity to say, if you're looking for a job, the Ferguson Florissant School District is hiring. So if you go to our website, we have countless openings. So I do want to have that selfish plug. As we go to the next slide, as I talk about some of the challenges, we are starting something new. There's no secret that some of our challenges deal with the financial aspect, which is happening all across St. Louis County and certainly across this country. However, listening to feedback from the community, having the direction from the board, and understanding that it is incredibly important to be transparent, we want to help our community understand how we got into the financial predicament that we are in. And so tomorrow I invite not only everyone who is here, the council, anyone who's watching online, to join the first of a few financial workshops. We are going to speak specifically about the journey in terms of how we got to the place that we are right now. And also, as we get to some of those later conversations, the plan that we have in place. And we certainly have a plan. As we go to the next slide, though, I am going to pull about 3 or 4 slides from tomorrow's presentation that I want you to be aware of. Some folks will say, well, Dr. Fields, as we talk about our school system and revenue, what does it come from? I heard this or I heard that. Allow me to be the source in terms of what's going on right now. So in front of you on the screen, you do have the budget for the 2025-2026 school year. On the left, you'll see the revenues or the monies that come into our school district, and you'll see how that's broken down. So you'll see the local revenues, which is essentially assessed valuations and all of that. You'll see state revenues. You'll see the federal dynamic. You'll see county, and then you will see other. As we go to the next slide, you will begin to see some of the dynamics that impact our funding and or what has impacted our funding. So in front of you, you do have enrollment. Now, I want to be clear with enrollment. Anytime we pull data, to the extent possible, I want to let you know where that data came from. And so this is one of the core data collection sheets for DESE, which is the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. So you might be saying, well, Dr. Fields, I've seen another number or a figure where enrollment was up. DESE does require that school districts publish enrollment data at said time. So that number could change depending upon what data source you're looking at. But for right now, these data are looking at the DESE core data collection. Now, if we would have went beyond or back before COVID in 2020, there was some point in time where our school district was above 10,000. As someone who attended Riverview Gardens, there was a time when Ferguson Florissant was essentially 12, 13, 14,000 students. That has an impact on funds, specifically from the state. As you can see, our projected student amount is 8,778 to be specific, and you will see the breakdown before. So one of the things that we have to be aware of is that when we're trying to plan for the academic school year, if there's a drastic decline or a drastic increase for that matter, it has an impact on our funds. So this is just one of the things that has a chance to impact the numbers that we're looking at. As we go to the next slide, this is something that has our attention, and this is something that you may not see as much in the media when you talk about some of the challenges that you will have. This is looking at the fiscal school year. So what I mean by that is, for those of us that are looking at taxes and all of that, it's typically reported by the calendar year, 2020, which is separate from 2021, which is separate from 2022, and so on and so forth. The way that school districts are set up, however, we have to look at collection rates for that school year, or otherwise for budgeting purposes is called the collection rate for the fiscal school year. You will see that in the 2020-2021 school year, the budgeted for local revenues, what was levied, or in other words, what we were entitled to if we received 100% of collection rates, and then what we actually collected. Now, no school system for the most part will get 100% collection rate. For those who will brag, they will say about 95%, but you want to stay within that 94, 95, 96% rate. But you will see it was budgeted for 50 million in the 2020-2021 school year. And then what was collected was 52 million, which is an excess of over $2 million. Well, if you apply that same logic to the 2023-2024 school year, you might say, well, Dr. Fields, where's 24-25? Those data have not been finalized yet, or we would have that. But the finalized data that we do have, which is for the 2023-2024 school district, you'll see a different narrative be in front of you. We were budgeting $62 million. What was levied, or what we were entitled to, was a $65 million if we had 100% collection rate. And what you will see is what was collected was $54 million, which is a difference of a little over $8 million. And so this isn't the one thing that contributes to where we are, but it is a massive thing. And one of the things I want to do is make sure that not only we are communicating and we're educating our community, but we know exactly what's going on when some of the other less fortunate pieces are being out there with the media as it relates to our financial status of our school district. As we go to the next slide, if you're saying, well, Dr. Fields, I get it, but $60+ million, that's a lot of money. Where is it going? That would be a phenomenal question. Across the state of Missouri, you're looking at about, on average, 85% of revenues go to salaries and benefits. Salaries and benefits. You will see our breakdown there, but you will also see purchase services. And purchase services, depending upon some of the other budgets you've seen, that may be a little bit higher than what you're accustomed to. Reason being, when 15 days ago, we had roughly 200 openings, about 100% are certified, and about 100% are support pieces. Well, what happens is, if we cannot fill those particular openings, all school districts are hiring in some capacity, then we have to have agencies staff those positions. That does not come out of the salaries and benefits, it comes out of purchase services. And typically, when you go to an agency, it's going to be a higher cost than what we would go to if we were to bring those persons. So I don't know if I said it, we're hiring, but if you are looking for a job, you're someone, we are hiring in the Ferguson, Florida School District. As we go to the next slide, and as I began to round out the information, before we click it, gotta go back. This is why I wanted to click it, if you can. This is where my theatrical moment goes to. So you all have to act like you didn't see that. So when we talk about all of the contributing factors related to our financial piece, the only thing I know as a leader is to be transparent and to bring along community. And so there are some difficult questions that have been posed. We have a responsibility to provide responses to those questions. What you will see are the specific dynamics that we've found so far that are contributing factors to the financial position that we're in. And so we want you to know that, but in order to know that, now we can go. We want you to join us tomorrow at the financial work session. If you cannot join us tomorrow in person on 8855 Dunn Road, then we're going to be on YouTube Live. It will be archived on YouTube as well. And as you can, go back to the conversation, this is the first of a few financial work session pieces. As we go to the last few slides, If there are questions for the community, I believe I have a little time to yield any particular questions that we may have for the council. But if there are questions for community, I certainly want to be visible. I want to be responsive. That is my direct email address. So feel free to be in touch. You can also call the administrative office. But the last piece before I turn it over back to Mayor Jones, if we go to the next slide, as I stated before, and I want to have evidence to support certain claims. The only thing I know is transparency and working with our community. And so if you reside in the Ferguson Florissant School District, if you are excited by numbers, finances, frankly, if you've been extra critical of the Ferguson Florissant School District and finances, here's an opportunity for you to be part of the actual solution. We have now implemented what will be called the Finance and Budget Committee. As part of state statute, when we put our budgets together, we have to get feedback. Up until this point, that feedback has been working internally. We want to expand on that as an act of transparency and community for those who reside within the Ferguson Florissant School District, but who may not work in the Ferguson Florissant School District. So if this interests you or someone else you know, we ask that you're going to fill out the form for the QR code. It will ask you things such as how you connected with community, what's your information, why do you want to be part of the finance and budgeting community? Because at the end of the day, we can't do this work by ourselves. And as a testament of this community, it does in fact take a village. With that, I certainly appreciate the time. I appreciate the work that you do. And again, I'm so thankful for giving me the opportunity to speak in front of you. I'll turn it over to Mayor Jones to see if there are any initial questions that I may be able to assist.
Councilman Casal.
Good evening. First of all, thank you for your service and thank you for coming here. I have one child left still in the district, and we need your leadership. So I appreciate you. I do have one question. So why is there a difference between levied and collected? Can you explain that? Because it's the 2 years up there, the last 2 years it was up there, it was almost $20 million difference between those two, which I think is almost as much as our shortfall right now. So why is there that gap?
So two pieces. One, I want to reiterate, I will invite you to the meeting next week. Our CFO, I don't want to take too much of his thunder. He's going to go into complete details. This was just a cursory review of this information. Part of that dynamic that we're going to look at is if in fact we're not collecting 100% of our taxes, that's going to lean into that particular number. And even as we're looking at the levy is broken down into 4 particular different areas. We're not collecting 100%. And so that is something that is going to continue to contribute to the work that we're doing. Now, as it relates to the levies, we're still diving in. It's been over a decade since the Ferguson Florissant School District has gone out to the community for some level of bond and or levy, but that's a dynamic that is contributing to the numbers that we have.
But I mean, the levy is how much people are getting a tax bill for, right? So in other words, if the collections is under the levy, it's because somebody didn't pay their property taxes.
That's one way of looking at it, yes.
Okay, I mean, what the levy is, whether that's high enough or not, is a whole different issue.
Right.
But the gap between the two is just businesses or individuals that didn't pay their taxes, or is there other things?
No, that's for the most part, by and large, that is it. I do want to remind us that typically we look at personal property, but we have more than personal property in our.
You have real estate.
We have real estate, but in addition to real estate, we do have this organization called Boeing. We have Amazon. We have a number of businesses that if they were to contest taxes and things of that nature, it does impact what we budget and what is actually rendered from the assessor's office after that entire process is completed. You have situations where some taxes on odd number of years will be protest. And so if those pieces are protests, we don't get those initially right off the bat. In fact, seldom do we get those with great regularity. And so I think that's a dynamic as well that is contributed. But the levy, that is an internal document. The numbers that we have are pretty accurate and spot on.
But okay, so if somebody protests, it's going to be collected eventually. It might be a lower amount, then it would end up in the collections maybe in the subsequent year, or it doesn't just disappear, right?
Well, I would say define disappear because there's a time-bound piece on there. To quote the collector's office, as we just had the conversation, there are hundreds and thousands of protests that are still up for years. And so let's just make this up. In the event from 2021, there are still hundreds of protests out. Well, we want people to protest your constitutional right and all of that, but until those things are rendered, guess what? That money does not come to address the particular school system. And in school systems where they're at 95%, they can almost afford some of those things. And our school system and many other school systems that are just like us, that's going to be an impact that we have to navigate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for the question.
Dr. Fields, what about the children who are not going to the Ferguson Forest District and they go to another district? Did Ferguson Forest has to pay for that child to go to that other district? Is that not correct?
Well, if I understand your question correctly, when I was in Riverview Gardens, we were not fully accredited. In fact, there was a time where we were unaccredited. And when we were unaccredited, it started this as part of the student transfer program, which ironically enough, I completed my dissertation on. We would have had to pay for both transportation and tuition. Now, that particular law has sunsetted for the most part. And as it relates to the Ferguson Florissant School District, we are fully accredited. So we do not pay right now to have any of our students go and be educated in any other place. That's a narrative that I want to make sure we hear loud and clear. The Ferguson Florissant School District is fully accredited.
Any other questions? Councilman Williams?
So, congratulations on your dream job.
Thank you.
So the issue that I'm having is with my son. So you've probably already got a letter from my attorney, or you'll be getting one. So I got custody of my son in January. He's 12. He's been homeschooled his entire life. He has autism, but he's very bright. So the psychologist said his IQ is with Elon Musk and Einstein, but he has autism. Loud noises triggers him. I took him to the STEAM middle for him to take the test. The lady gave him the test in a noisy environment. He melted down. I later told the lady that he had autism. She said, send the proof. I did that. They were supposed to give him a verbal IQ test. She reneged on that. And I said, per the Disabilities Act of 1990, you have to make accommodations. They did not make accommodations. He went to Johnson Wabash 6th grade center. The end of the year math testing, he scored the highest in the entire school. He won the President's Award, honor roll. He's only been in public school 3 months. So I'm in contact with Dr. Reese. He has a 504 for his autism. They were trying to give him an IEP, but the lady said he's too intelligent. I have several teachers that wouldn't do recommendation letters for him to go to STEAM. So Dr. Reese is continually violating the ADA of 1990 by not retesting my son, or the process for STEAM is interview, recommendation, or testing. This is being violated several times. So like I said, you should be getting that letter from my attorney if you haven't already received it. And I know this is not an issue that you created, it's something that you inherited. But if you can please look into that for me. It's a total unjust act that's been done to my son, who's brilliant, but he just has autism. Loud noises triggers him.
If possible, as the representative for the Ferguson Florissant School District, and I want to be careful because there's some confidentiality pieces with student dynamics that I can't necessarily speak to. But I would be remiss if I don't speak specifically to this particular matter. Being that I am in day 15, when I say being student-centered and focused on our students, I am 100% aware of some of the dynamics that you've provided. And so as I want to go back to the student and humanize our student, Number one, congratulations from the standpoint of your child being so bright. I think that's a testament to you and some of the things that are going on at home. The second piece is we follow all laws, applicable laws in those dynamics. There are some communication pieces that I have since been made aware of, and you will be hearing from us and in particular our attorneys as well. I just want to be very clear as we provide those dynamics. We're supposed to advocate for our children, and I absolutely appreciate you doing so. Because I am aware of the matter, you will certainly be receiving a response because there are some other dynamics, well, I can't get into here, but I feel 1000% comfortable knowing that our staff are following not only board policy, but advice as we move forward. So you'll be hearing more from us, but I'm 1000% familiar on this particular matter because when I say that it's about student-centered decisions, I can't say that and know some of the dynamics that are going on. So having said that, hold me to it. If you don't hear from me by next week, reach out, bring me back up here and say, you said this, that, and the third. It is about our students, your child and everyone else. And so if you're having that particular issue, we have a responsibility to look into it. And if anybody else in the audience tonight, if they're having some concerns with their child, as if they were sitting up here, I want to make sure they understand that we're going to make it a concerted effort to get to the bottom of what we can do for our students. Because at the end of the day, that is what it's about.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fields. Appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, knowing that you have a busy day for tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the work you're all doing.
Our special presentation closed. We don't have any public hearing tonight, so we move to our consent agenda. City Council meeting minutes, the budget meeting for May 21st, May 29th, and June the 3rd. We had special meeting on July the 2nd. I'm requesting a motion in a second to approve the meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second, Naquita Noah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, the meeting minutes have been approved. We move to board commission meeting minutes. 55 or older and would like to serve on the Senior Citizen Commission, please direct them to the website to fill out the application. Right now, we are moving to our request for the annual liquor license. We have Snooks Market, we have USA Market, we have the Ferguson Brewery and Hive Cafe. I need a motion in a second for approval.
So moved.
Second, Lamika Covington.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, liquor license are granted. We don't have any proclamations for tonight. We move to resolutions. We have resolution number 2025-17. Without objections, we're introduced by council members present. Attorney Ryan, would you please read the resolution?
Madam Mayor.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, so with this fiasco that went on, we have one council member that is not on. Is it possible for us to do a FaceTime?
What we need
He's still
to
on.
do is, since he's
still
off,
Can you hear?
if he can call in or either text his vote into
Let's not
Dave.
open that back up.
I have it open, I just don't have it up there. I kicked everybody out. There was an issue. I'm not admitting anybody new unless I know who they are by name.
And Mike is in there.
Mike is in
I
here.
can send,
There's some, I'll be honest, there's somebody in the waiting room named Jake. I don't know who it is. I'm not letting him in. Had the Robinette, I just let her back in, so I know who that is. I'm just not gonna let anybody in that I don't know their name.
hey, but Mike is in, is that not correct?
That is correct.
So he can cast his vote.
He can still hear.
We should turn the screens back on because he's gonna want to participate in debate. Maybe. I don't know.
No, he
I can
said
see
he's
you
not
all.
gonna turn the screen on. Is that not correct? But you have it on
If
your
we control
screen.
the-
Here. I'm just not putting it on the screen because there was,
And we can hear him.
correct.
Okay.
I'm on the screen on my computer.
Mike, can you hear us?
Well, legally, we have to see
Yes.
him for him to be able to
He
participate.
sees him as the
Okay.
as the acting
I can turn it back.
clerk.
The guy's kicked.
And per the sunshine law, his face has to be seen. So if you see it, it's okay. Okay, that's fine.
Don't let Jake in.
I don't know who Jake is. So
No.
He's not getting this.
Okay. Attorney Ryan, could you please read the resolution? Resolution number 2025-17.
Thank you, Mayor. A resolution supporting the city of Ferguson authorizing the city manager to enter into and execute a construction contract with Beagle Staffing LLC.
City Manager Hampton.
Yes, Mayor. Sorry. This resolution is for Firehouse 2's roof and interior. We received the insurance check, we've received a depreciation value check, and we've already talked with FEMA for a potential 75% more of that funding. And a lot of that is because of the wind damage from that storm. And so this was from the storm of the March or April, I forgot which one it was.
Councilman Cassoff, you have a question for the city manager.
I've got a couple of questions. Question number one, there's a sizable gap between the insurance and the bid. I mean, I don't know if it works different with our insurance or government or what, but when I've had damage to my house, the insurance company covered after whatever the deductible was. And I'm concerned that we're picking up like half the cost of this and the insurance is only picking up like half. Is there a reason for that gap, or are we doing improvements in this project that aren't part of the damages that insurance is covering?
Yeah, I believe the roof is completely deteriorated. Some of this roof may be in a little additional to that damage. But majority of the roof was damaged, not the whole entire roof. And so they are not gonna pay for the whole entire roof. But the roof needs completely be redone. The other portion is the insurance companies, that's what they're just giving us. Depreciation and everything.
I mean, there's ways of arguing with the insurance company. I've done it. They tried to do half a roof on my house after the tornado, and we argued about it for a little bit, and then they said, okay, we'll pay for the whole thing. And you know, you can't put half a roof on a building. That's not really the thing. So if they're taking an unreasonable position, I don't feel like we should just be eating that cost.
That's something that we've been trying to still work out with the insurance company that I do know of, correct, Dave? Because Dave has done more of this because I've tried to stay out of it with me being the fire chief, so people don't think I do favoritism. So I've kind of let
We're
Dave.
still talking to the insurance company, negotiate with them as well. Part of it is we do have very high deductibles. So it's part of it.
25,000? Oh, okay, well, I guess we may have met our deductible for the year. If we've got $25,000 deductible,
Depending
then,
on property, building, I mean, we have some deductibles that are hundreds of thousands. So.
I mean, if that's our deductible, then it is what it is. And no further discussion of that is necessary. My other concern with this is, I don't know where we put out for bids, but you know, we only got 2 bids and we really only got 1 bid because that guy from Minnesota probably wasn't a real bid, right? I'm assuming.
They put in.
Right, but
I mean, there's roofers that go all over the country.
but we've gotten some,
We know that.
we've gotten some bids in like when we were doing nuisance abatement bids, we got bids from companies that weren't even, you know, we knew they weren't gonna show up, right? And when I look at somebody that's a Minnesota LLC, and I tried to track that Minnesota company down, and I really couldn't find anything about them. There was multiple LLCs in Minnesota. They haven't registered to do business in Missouri. So I kind of discount that bid completely, which is unfortunate because it was, you know, we got a bid for 30,000 and a bid for 45,000, and the 30,000 was the guy in Minnesota that's probably not a real bid. And I understand why you didn't take that bid. But that leaves us with only 1 bid, and the company with the bid that we're accepting, the materials they submitted had 2 different company names on them. The guy's working out of a house in Creve Coeur. It kind of concerns me there that, you know, there's a million roofing companies in St. Louis, and maybe if we separated the roofing and the interior work out or something, we could have got bids from more established companies. So it just concerns me that we've got somebody with 2 different LLCs running out of a house in Creve Coeur, and that's the only bid really that we got that was worth considering.
Did you want us to put it back out for bid?
Well, I mean, if the roof is leaking, we got to put a new
The roof is leaking. The
Huh?
roof is leaking.
The roof's, so we got to do something reasonably quickly. I don't know how. And Mr. Palmer knows more about commercial buildings than me. I don't know if he's got any input to this, but I
know.
Got somebody for your face.
Ms. Griffin, thank you. Thank you. Okay, are you finished, Councilman?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, Councilman Palmer, and then Councilman Franklin. And then Councilman Williams.
Sounds like Mr. Musgrave has been working on this. I'm curious, first question I had was, do we have an actual cash value policy or a recoverable depreciation policy that's in effect on this insurance claim?
Depreciation policy. Sorry, depreciation policy.
Right, so they're paying us basically what the value of the roof is based on its age, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. My personal opinion, part of the reason we probably lack quite a few bids is probably because it's a combination of interior and exterior work. I don't think it would hurt to put it out for bid, separating the interior and the exterior work, because a lot of exterior companies, they just don't do interior work. They specialize in, gutter, soffit, fascia, roofing, that type of thing. Also, if we just post it on the county and the city's website, we're obviously not going to get too much interest, because you got to find companies that are scouring those bid postings to find work. And oftentimes I think they sub a lot of that work out to other contractors. So my personal opinion is maybe split the bid up, do a quick turnaround time on it, post it, then have staff reach out to 10 interior companies and 10 exterior companies and just tell them, hey, we have a bid on our website. You're welcome to bid, find 10, somewhat local regional companies for both is my personal opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Palmer. Councilman Franklin?
My concern with the company that you have listed, they're not licensed to transport waste in St. Louis County. So technically, if we went with this company, they'd be performing this job illegally. So what I would recommend the city do, you can reach out to St. Louis County for good lists for companies that are licensed to operate in St. Louis County and operated legally to transport waste. So that's a big part of it. And you can have staff email your bid out to those licensed companies and see what you get back. So
we'll put it back up for bid. But it's gonna be a very short turnaround.
Yeah, that's
We'll let everybody know.
Thank you for the information. Councilman Williams?
Trust me. So I'm experiencing that. I had some damage to my commercial building. So insurance companies are in business to make money. But the thing that makes them get some act right is when you contact the insurance commission in Missouri. When you file a claim and they get that, they tend to increase the amount of money.
I couldn't hear what you said, sir.
The insurance commission of Missouri. So if you file a claim against an insurance company who's not acting fairly on the city's behalf, once they get that claim number, they tend to act right, and the amount of their check significantly increases. But most people don't know that. So you either got to get an attorney, or the cheaper route, Attorney General of Missouri or the insurance commission. And when they get that letter, they get some act right.
Okay, thank you.
City, okay,
So,
Councilwoman Covington.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So when you first started talking, you said you were waiting for another grant. Is there a time frame for, that?
This is not a grant. FEMA.
A
I'm
FEMA,
sorry.
okay,
Sorry, yeah.
okay,
So Dave had a meeting with FEMA today
Okay.
while I was at the hearing. And Dave can go into more of that.
Yeah, so we met with FEMA just like we did during flood damage, everything else, already got the paperwork submitted for reimbursement. Basically, FEMA will cover typically 75% of anything that was uninsured. So whatever we are looking at out of pocket, typically they'll go up to 75% of that dollar amount, which would be up to 25% of whatever we didn't have insurance. There's always caveats there to depreciation value, replacement value, all those things, but that is what we're talking about right now. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Councilwoman Norn, do you have any? So if I'm hearing things correctly, city manager, you want to?
So I'll strike this resolution. I'm gonna put it out for bid tomorrow or the next day. We will call a few companies, maybe not 10, but we're gonna call a few, and whatever we get, we get.
Okay.
And separate interior and exterior bids.
We'll see, yeah.
Okay.
What?
2 weeks.
10 days.
Put a motion on the floor, please.
So I do have one question.
Okay.
So we only have one more council meeting till the next month. Correct, Dave?
That's correct.
So if I do get a nice bid, can we somehow?
We could do a special meeting.
Okay.
Okay. We just can't take it off the agenda.
A motion to go back out for bid for roof repairs.
And separate roof and interior. Okay.
I'm not a proponent of that. I think you leave it all.
I would like to make a
Okay.
Leave it all together.
No, because it's a different skill set. That's like asking an electrician to do plumbing work. For people who do exterior work, that's what they focus on. Doing drywall, interior work, it's a different skill set.
Staff
Okay.
can handle this. We'll put it out for bid.
Okay.
Madam Mayor,
You've
I'd like to make a motion.
then withdraw what you just said.
I'll withdraw my
Okay,
motion.
right now,
I would like to move to table resolution 2025-17 and direct the city manager to make 2 requests for bids, one for the roof replacement and other exterior work, and a second one for the interior work, to be done on time frame as the city manager determines is appropriate. And I think that's it, right?
okay.
Second,
It's-
Naquita Noah.
It has been properly moved in second. Roll call.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Councilman Franklin,
Aye.
Councilman Palmer,
Aye.
Councilman Williams,
Aye.
Councilwoman Noah,
Aye.
Councilwoman Covington,
Aye.
and Councilman Castle.
Aye.
Motion carries. We move to bills requiring the first reading. Without objection, I introduce this bill without Councilman Jamel Franklin. Attorney, could you please read the bill by title?
Thank you, Mayor. An ordinance of the city of Ferguson, Missouri, affirming its method of disclosing potential conflicts of interest and substantial interests.
City manager?
Yeah, I know this is first reading, but we do this every year. This is kind of a standard thing that we do.
Right, correct. We move to bills requiring second reading. We have bill number 7313. I request a motion and a second to read the bill a second time and place it upon its passage.
Second.
City manager? Wait. Attorney Ryan, would you please read the bill by title?
Yes. An ordinance amending certain sections within Chapter 2, Article 5, Division 1 of the Code of Ordinances for the city of Ferguson regarding current payment of taxes as a condition of board service.
City manager?
Yes, Mayor. I know this has been going back and forth quite a bit. This is basically to serve on a board or commission or board, I believe. I'm not so certain on commission. You have to have your taxes paid before February 28th, I believe. And I believe this one would have that disappear, where the taxes would not have to be paid to serve on a board. Correct?
Okay.
Did I say that right?
Yes.
Councilman Franklin.
So yeah, I sponsored the bill. So basically right now, as you all know, boards and commissions require that you have paid real estate and personal property taxes by the end of the year, but also you have that February date before they actually kick you off a board if you're already serving. So this would repeal that requirement. So moving forward, residents that want to volunteer to serve the city boards and commissions, there would be no more city oversight as to whether or not your personal property or real estate taxes are paid in full.
Councilman Castle.
I've got a few issues, and this has been an ongoing discussion since our last meeting, so I'm going to be referencing some things that weren't said tonight. First of all, it's been said that this was a new requirement that was imposed in 2022. In fact, it's been in the Ferguson City Charter since 1985. They don't go back that far online, so I had to go to City Hall and pull out the dusty old books from way back when. It's always been a requirement since our current charter was created back in the 80s. The bill that we passed in 2023 didn't create a new requirement. What it actually did was added a 2-month grace period because people would get to December and they would forget because it's the holidays and not get it paid. So we actually created a 2-month grace period so that people who forget would have the opportunity to go in and get that done. And that bill was passed by council in May 2023 unanimously. And that was with a council that included Mayor Jones and Councilor Noah, who are still here this evening. It's not a requirement they have everywhere, to be sure. It's some places have it and some places don't. The biggest place that does have it is the city of St. Louis. And if you go to their boards and commissions website, they tell you that before you fill out the application, go get your taxes paid first, because your application will go, you won't run into problems with your application. So, why do we even care about taxes? Well, there's a few reasons why. First of all, in 2008, President Biden and in 2012, President Obama both described paying taxes as a patriotic duty. And so I don't want to discount the importance of doing it. I understand that people have financial problems, and I had financial problems in the past where I was being asked to serve on a board here, and I had to tell them no, because I had fallen behind on some of my taxes. So I didn't serve. But it's not just your car tax, okay? We've got businesses, for example, that don't remit their sales tax. And sometimes it amounts to hundreds of thousands of dollars that somebody's not remitting. Without this ordinance, if that person who might owe the state and the city hundreds of thousands of dollars, they'd be able to serve on a board or commission. And why is it a problem in the end? Well, we have the gentleman from the school district here this evening, and he's talking about the financial shortfall they have. It's been in the news lately. And the reason for the shortfall, and this is why I asked him about it, in the last 2 years, we've had a $20 million gap between what people should have paid and what they did pay. And meanwhile, we've got a school district that had to go take out a loan that's costing the district $500,000 in interest, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to pay their teachers this fall. So I believe it's important for those of us who serve, whether on council, where it's required by state law that our taxes be paid, or on boards and commissions where it's simply a municipal ordinance requiring it. I believe it's important that we pay our taxes, and so I oppose this bill.
Councilman Franklin?
So the reason why is this bill important to repeal? Nick Kassoff just gave us a history lesson about the city of Ferguson. Let's take it back to 1894 when the city was incorporated. There was a 90-year history where this was not on the books, that you had to have paid taxes. What changed in 1985? The percentage of African Americans living in this city. And so personally, I believe that everyone in this city needs to have a voice. So whether you pay your taxes on time, whether you own your home, whether you're a renter, you should be able to volunteer your expertise, your labor, and more importantly, your time. Because if we want people to buy in, you said it yourself on social media, inclusion is key. So I agree. I'm a councilman. I should be held to a higher standard. My taxes need to be paid. I need to promote positivity in my community. I can't do everything that everyone else does, even if I try to hide under the First Amendment. So yeah, you're right. This was started back in '85. You took time to find that out and you guys tweaked it. Mistakes happen. But what we do know is in the last 3 years since you tweaked it, 15 residents who have been serving on boards and commissions have been kicked off because of it. Good people. I think we just reappointed 2. And one was kicked off at no fault of his own other than the United States Postal Service. The check didn't get there. So in my mind, volunteers shouldn't be held to the same standard as a council member, as an elected official, or even as a paid employee of the city. And more importantly, we are a community now of mostly renters. That means that the personal property tax, or real estate taxes for housing don't apply to most of the people living in this community. So this community isn't the reason for the shortfall with our schools, Nick. because we just don't have that tax base, if we're being honest with ourselves, but nice try. So,
Point of order.
so I'm done. I'm getting off my soapbox because it's getting late. So if anyone else has any comment, feel free.
Councilman Williams?
Yeah, I do think we need to repeal this. I think it's outdated. So I just paid my personal property taxes about 2 weeks ago. It was $4,700. The reason why I paid it late is still with the city. I sold a motorcycle and a van, and I was trying to get it prorated. And to my surprise, the young lady said, it doesn't matter if you have it for a day, you pay the taxes for the entire year. So I was not aware of that. So I just paid it. I stopped arguing with the lady. But we do have some of the lowest gas taxes here. So I guess they have to make it up in personal property taxes. And if you look at the surrounding areas, Ladue, Chesterfield, Florissant, which is comparable to us, they don't have this. The only place that has it is St. Louis City. And their government is not the best. It's not the standard. I think St. Louis County is. And you might have some people that got into some financial issues, but they're very bright. They have something to say, but they can't volunteer because they owe taxes. And a lot of people live in check to check. They're not trying to volunteer for free to be on the board. So I don't think if we repeal this, people are going to be busting down the door to be on a board or commission. And so I think it's antiquated and we need to repeal it.
Assistant City Manager, please call the roll.
Councilman Palmer,
No.
Councilman Williams,
Aye.
Councilwoman Noah,
Aye.
Councilwoman Covington,
Nay.
Councilman Cassoff,
Nay.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Councilman Franklin.
Aye.
You have 4 yeses and 3 nos.
Bill number 7313 passes. Yes. We move to our unfinished business.
Mayor. I have unfinished business.
Councilwoman Noor has unfinished business.
Right quick, just wanna bring up the request for the stop sign in Harrison and Randolph that has been approved by the Traffic Commission. Just wanna know when we can expect an update on that from the Traffic Commission or the city. We kind of briefly spoke about this at the last minute, and you were waiting on the Traffic Commission.
Waiting on traffic commission to bring it to me.
Yeah, they approved the recommendation. That was the only recommendation. So
When
just want
he
to,
sends me an email, then I'll deal with it.
okay. And the second unfinished business is regarding Ferguson Neighborhood Improvement Program. Does FNIP have plans to send direct mailings to homeowners? Direct mailings for the 25-26 FY FNIP grant programs. We have a lot of new residents in Ferguson, a lot of new homeowners. I see there are a lot of people buying homes in Ferguson, and it's important that they know about the grant programs that are available to them. So I just want to know if FNIP plans on engaging with the new residents by sending out mailings, and if they plan on holding any monthly community work sessions in an effort to engage and educate residents about the current FNIP grants. And lastly, this is a comment in the January 10th, 2023 meeting. There was a presentation by Larry Robinette, the FNIP chair, and he stated that FNIP at that time had approximately $700,000 in their reserve account. That's my unfinished business. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, so on FNIP, I cannot answer for them. Yeah, okay.
As you know from the last meeting, that when Mr. Robinette spoke, that FNIP had changed their bylaws and they have been sent to the attorney. So We are waiting Apollo's, how would I say that? His legal opinion about the new bylaws from FNIP. So that's where we are. Okay. Are there any other unfinished business? Anyone else unfinished business? Unfinished business is closed. We move to new business. Any new business? New business goes. Let's start with miscellaneous. Councilman Williams, would you please share in miscellaneous?
So it's been a lot of conversation about the consent agenda. So don't get it misconstrued. We still want to keep the policing reform going. We did not cut funds for that, but the budget is paid for to the end of this year. So it's not an issue right now until December 31st, 2025. So if we're not out of it by then, that's when some issues might happen. But right now, everybody's getting paid. There's not an issue, but it's unfair for citizens. This city is $44,000 median income. For us to pay money that happened on somebody else's watch, it's just not fair. When you have, hey, be quiet, I'm talking.
Point of order.
When you were talking, I didn't say nothing.
Point of order. Point of order.
You act like one.
No, you act like somebody else.
Come on, point of order.
You gonna take all of the time? Okay, you gonna take the time? You gonna tell me to shut up? You know my bad.
We'll clear this room if y'all don't stop.
Ask me to respect me. Okay, Mayor? Ask me to respect me.
You don't respect me.
Everybody gotta
Why the hell
respect
should
each
I
other.
respect you? Shut up when I'm talking. You do this all the time.
Councilman Williams.
I'm tired of her all the time.
Williams. Councilman Williams. Councilman Williams. At this point, clear the room.
No problem.
Clear the room, please. Clear the room. Okay. No, I clear the room. Clear the council chambers, please.
He serves us. That's wrong with it. That's wrong. Why you leave it, man? You told me to shut up. Why you leave? You got order. That's not fair at all. You know what? Like I said, somebody gonna call you one day. If not, we call it.
I really don't care and shut up 3 times. I'm tired of you. Shut up. I said it.
Councilman Williams. Councilman Williams, you can. Councilman Williams, we excuse you. I saw that. I saw that. Councilman Williams, would you leave the dais? Leave the dais. Councilman Williams. No. Councilman Williams, you have to leave the dais.
Man, you wanna let them leave. If I leave the dais, you're gonna need some
Instructed you to leave the dais. You can't give nobody the favor.
I did, and I'll do it again.
When you got to leave. Erica, please leave. I will handle this. Will you please leave? I will handle this. please leave?
Yeah.
Councilman Williams, would you be quiet, please? Come on, Erica. Erica. Well, Miss Ladies. Turn it off.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, great. Now it's the car.
Councilman Williams, you are wrong for giving that woman the finger.
And I would have did it again. I'm tired of that shit.
But
I'm
you
tired
are
of
held to a high standard.
bullshit. I'm tired
You
of
are
it.
held to
They
a
talk,
higher
every time I come here,
standard.
they talk shit every time, and you don't do nothing.
To a
I don't
higher
do
standard.
shit.
No,
Please,
this is a public meeting.
it is a public meeting.
No, you can't turn it off.
No, no. Would y'all close the door? Close the door. Close the door. Close the door. Close the door. As a council person, you should not give that woman the finger. That is disrespectful.
What do you think she does to me every time you do nothing?
People talk about me like a dog. I do not
But every
or
time I
react
talk,
to anything
you don't have to yell.
someone says to me. That was disrespectful.
And I will do it again.
You
I have
are
no regrets.
dismissed from the dais.
I have no regrets at all.
You are dismissed from the dais.
Okay.
Good night. Put him out. Go, have him go out that way. You cannot.
Man, I'm gonna do it again unless you take control of that. They do this every time. You say nothing. When they speak, you tell me to be quiet. I'm quiet.
And I
But when
told you, point of order.
but they don't do it. Either they don't give a damn or they don't respect you.
And I put them out.
So I have no regrets.
And I put
I should
them
have
out.
did both of them.
Want me to drive your car around front?
I'll walk out. It don't matter.
Out the front door.
Let me drive mine.
What's the matter? Go get his car.
I'm telling you, they.
Okay, man. You guys want this car?
Go get his car.
Where's your car? Let me go get your car.
I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I will be adjourned. No, you don't give nobody